Luka nothing Doncic, man. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Nah, alright. What a game winner. What a fucking game winner. I did not see this one coming. I could imagine the Mavericks winning this game, obviously. But I thought, obviously, Minnesota was gonna win. But the Mavs are as resilient as it gets, man. And this team is just great, man. They have obviously great resilience. Like I said, they have Kyrie, who has the great experience. They have Luka, who's the great, just one of the best players in the league. And then you have just a bunch of dogs, man, bunch of great role players around them, and it's magical. It's magical. And Luka capped it off in the fourth quarter. I thought they blew their chances, right? Kyrie was sensational in the fourth quarter, but he missed, what was it, 3 free throws? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he missed 3 free throws, missed a wide open 3-pointer after Luka, had a great offensive rebound to tap it to him. And I thought, and then he missed the 2 free throws. Yeah, that's what it was. And the Timberwolves had a 3-point lead. And went back to the foul line. And I was like, yeah, that's probably where the game shifted. But them did not, right? Kyrie instantly gave it back with a 3 ball. Then there were some really bad turnovers. And Luka said night, even though he took the shot earlier, obviously. And Naz Reid had a chance to win it at the buzzer, which obviously could have gone in skill because, well, Naz Reid was shooting lights out, but it didn't. And the Mavericks take a 2-0 lead in this series as they are heading, obviously, home to Dallas. Up 2-0. We've seen this happen against, who was it? Against the Clippers, right? In, what was that year for Luka? Where they won all the road games and lost all the home games and then lost game 7 in LA, I'm pretty sure, right? So we'll see if we could get a repeat of that. I'm not counting the Timberwolves out because obviously they have shown resiliency, but their two best players, quote unquote, their two stars, have looked. Is it nervous? Is it? They just have not looked themselves, right? Anthony Edwards and Towns. I've been shitting on Tatum all year. I mean, not all year, but all playoffs. And as much as I hate him, Anthony Edwards can get the same pass, right? Even though I like Ant more, even though let's not get into that. But he did start off the game well. I thought the whole Minnesota team obviously started the game well. They were up by as much as 18. And it was with Conley being really aggressive offensively, which I thought was huge. He attacked Luka really well on closeouts, which broke the defense for Dallas early on, where they couldn't guard the point of attack, which opened up the paint, which opened up wide open 3-pointers, which led to obviously Naz Reid hitting 7 of 9. But I mean, nobody else was really making them anyway, so that's the problem at the end of the day. But Ant-Man started off well, aggressive, got to the line, but couldn't hit his shots. And I thought he was just bad. And he didn't look ready for the moment. And he obviously had the game-losing turnover. So that's tough. That's very tough, obviously. And what can you do when your two best players? I talked about it in game 1, right? I thought Edwards and Towns were going to play better. Both played not better. I mean, Edwards played in a way better, but Towns played clearly worse today. Offensively, especially, where he's just been forcing it a little too much, especially in the post. The 3-ball has not been falling, which has been the case for him in the playoffs at home, funny enough, for some reason. And that's a recipe for disaster, right? Jaden McDaniels can give you 25 every night, and today he gave you 2 points, while he can't do shit against Luka. But he's still the better defender for him than Ant-Man. Luka clearly feels more comfortable against Ant because he does not have the length. And while McDaniels does not have the strength, I feel like, obviously, for Luka, clearly, it's much worse to shoot over the length of McDaniels than not. But I think they're gonna have to, I don't know, like triple team him, man. Go box and one, honestly, and let Kyrie beat you. But I mean, that's the problem, right? Kyrie's shown the ability to beat you here, and he was sensation in the fourth, and then the others have been playing incredible and making timely baskets. But maybe it would take away the lobs to Gaffer, to Lively, who they combined went, 14 of 16 from the floor, which is just crazy. Just crazy. And they were sensational. So many lobs. Dallas gets into the paint so easily. The pick and roll coverage just has not been working. Even the blitzes, they were better today, right? But Luka just passes through them, and that leads to wide open dunks. The alley-oops because they are so unpredictable, right? Rudy has to play in that drop, and he has to defend two players essentially, and you're just not gonna be able to do that consistently, especially against this Mavs team. Luka is one of the best passers in the league also. And he was obviously hobbling the whole night because of the injuries. Went to the locker room twice, but played 41 minutes still and was 32, 10, and 13 and was sensational when it mattered the most. The turnovers came in earlier, so that was awesome. But early on, right, everything looked great for Timberwolves. They have to force, they have to be able to force the Mavs to defend in transition, which obviously has not been looking great in transition for both teams, really. And it was the reason why this game didn't, look even worse for the Mavs headed into the halftime. But the rebounding has to be better for Minnesota. They've not rebounded well. Uh, they've not rebounded well. They've lost the rebounding battle again, which I think is the huge issue. And their best players have to be at the end of the day better anyway, right? That's the biggest adjustment because Conley gave you everything you could ask for. Nasri gave you everything you could ask for. Kyle Anderson gave you great minutes again. Nikhil Alexander Walker gave you something. Rudy was great. Yeah, Jaden McDaniels, another starter. He wasn't great, but I mean, he still defends at a high level in a way and makes it annoying, at least for Luka, I suppose, even though Luka looks as comfortable as I've seen him all playoffs in this series so far, right? And Towns and Edwards just have to be better, especially. I want to say Edwards, right? Especially because he's shown the attitude. He's been, a little cocky in a way. In some people's eyes, it can be a little cocky and a little over the top. And he's just not shown up in these conference finals yet. His first conference finals, it can happen, but obviously losing the game on your turnover essentially, which gave Luka the chance to just hit the dagger to Minnesota's heart, right? Uh, and yeah, I don't know, man. But Mavs really improved in the second half. The point of attack defense was sharper. The contests were better, and of course, Lively and Gafford protecting the rim as well as it gets. And I thought the whistle was better in the second half, right? In the first half, it felt like the referees were calling more fouls, which obviously helped Minnesota. Uh, when it comes to their drives, right? Luka plays more of the finesse game in a way, so it's obviously not as easy to give him those foul calls in a way. Not as easy, quote unquote. But I thought that favored Minnesota, and in the second half, right? Not as many fouls, which obviously favored the Dallas. And they had great challenges also, which is shout out to the coaching staff. And they are up 2-0, looking great, man. They obviously are the heavy favorites now. I do think this still probably goes 6, honestly. I don't think Minnesota's just gonna lay down. And that means they're gonna have to win one game in Dallas. That means I think they're gonna win game 5 at home. And that's my prediction. Dallas in 6 can come through here, but I mean, if they lose game 3, I could see this ending up in a sweep, honestly. But I don't know, man. It obviously can because the Dallas is playing home, but we've seen obviously the reverse. Even last series, right? Minnesota lost first 2. I mean, won first 2, then Denver won the next 3. So anything can happen at the end of the day, these playoffs. And the Timberwolves shown their resiliency, and we obviously still have Luka, who is out there hobbling a lot. So it's not obviously a foregone conclusion what's going to happen in this series, but what an impressive team this Mavs team is, right? Everyone from top to bottom. Shout out Jaden Hardy today. He was, great offensively and showed really great poise. Josh Green off the bench. The bench obviously could do better if Dante Exum and Tim Hardaway didn't just shit themselves. Especially Dante Exum. He really disappointed these playoffs, which is huge because it loses Dallas some versatility defensively, and obviously he has been a great shooter in the regular season, but he's just not been himself in these playoffs. But it has not mattered yet. Maybe it can catch up to them in the finals, right? But it has not yet, and that's just what it is. So shout out to Dallas, great win. I'll be here tomorrow covering Boston, Indiana, which unfortunately with Tyrese obviously not being 100% probably is over, and my dream of the Pacers being in the finals is over also. But uh, it is what it is at the end of the day. And I'll be here to cover it as always. Be kind to yourself and to others. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Love.